This is a little weird, right? Apple's not making a whole lot of sense. We've been spending the last 5 years complaining about how Apple has been systematically attacking our ability to repair their products, and then they come out here and they say, hey, you can buy parts from us. We're going to give you all the tools and the parts and the manuals to repair your devices yourself. And all of us here collectively are just like, huh? What? Now, I know I'm a little bit late to this issue because it's been about 2 days, but I wanted to really dive into what this means, and specifically I want to talk about what it's going to mean for us Mac users, because I think a lot of the focus has been on repairing iPhones. However, I'm particularly interested in seeing how this might apply to Mac users, and specifically what this means going forward for future Macs that are going to be coming out. I have a lot of questions and a lot of things that I'm really curious about, so let's jump into it. We all love the feeling of unboxing a fresh, brand new Mac. It's shiny and clean and it runs super fast. But over time, as you live with the device, it tends to clutter up. And that's where today's video sponsor, Clean My Mac X, comes in. It's trusted by millions of users worldwide, including me, because I use it on my personal MacBook Pro. The most popular feature is the Smart Scan, which examines your system to weed out system log files and user cache that is no longer needed. It runs a quick malware check, as well as necessary maintenance scripts to top up performance as well. For example, my Smart Scan found 27.5 gigabytes of junk files to get rid of from my 256 gigabyte SSD. That's a big difference, and it frees up a lot of space. Space Lens is another great feature that allows you to see what files are eating up your storage. And the optimization feature gives you a more straightforward look into your system's performance than the built-in activity monitor. Clean My Mac offers a ton of great features to keep your Mac tidy, running well, and free of cryptocurrency miners, viruses, and adware. To try out Clean My Mac X today, check out the link in the description below. And now, back to the video. Okay, now first things first, you might be able to tell I'm currently sick. I tweeted about this the other day. That's the reason that I didn't come out with a day one video. I'm recovering right now from strep throat. I might sound a little bit off. 24 hours ago, I couldn't even talk or swallow, so the antibiotics are working. Also, if you ever get strep throat, eat mini marshmallows. They make your throat feel a lot better. That's a pro tip. Now, in terms of pro tips, Apple apparently is going to be giving us quite a handful of them in the form of the ability now to repair our products ourselves. This is not something that we had really been expecting at all, because the trend that Apple has shown for over 10 years now has been moving towards more proprietary components, more locked down ecosystems, and less repairability. And then they just took those tables and they turned them all right around by saying, hey, you can repair stuff yourself. Now, I'm not going to pretend that this is some like altruistic thing that they did and they're like, oh, we love our customers. No, this was very clearly because Apple saw the writing on the wall. They saw right to repair as legislation that is inevitable. You might remember back in July, the Biden administration directed the FTC to come up with some rules to stop manufacturers from locking down devices and keeping people from repairing them, or independent repair shops from repairing them. And this was pretty big news back then. So when you look at the context, it's not really surprising that Apple saw that now is the time. But regardless of the cause, this is a really good thing. But as is typically Apple fashion, it's incredibly vague, and we really don't have a lot of guidance as to how the self-service repair program is actually going to work. So according to Apple's press release, they're going to be rolling out the self-service repair program first on the iPhone 12 and iPhone 13 series in early 2022, and then following that, Mac computers featuring M1 chips. They say that the initial phase of the program will focus on the most commonly serviced modules, such as the iPhone display, battery, and camera, but they didn't say anything about what this is going to mean for the Mac, about what's going to be replaceable. Now, one thing that I think is a pretty safe bet is, if you recall the new generation of MacBook Pro, when iFixit tore these things down, they found that they ditched the old, really heavy-duty adhesive and have gone back to pull-tab adhesive strips that you can actually pull out yourself and pull the battery out yourself, which is really great news. And I think that is pretty much a guarantee that the new MacBooks will have user replaceable batteries and that you can buy battery replacements directly from Apple and install them yourselves. That's pretty crazy. I mean, that might not seem like a lot, but for 9 years, Apple has been essentially welding these batteries in there with really, really heavy-duty glue that's been almost impossible to repair. And every time you've needed to get a battery replacement, you've had to replace the entire top case, which has the palm rest and the keyboard and the backlight and the microphones. It's a ridiculous procedure for a battery replacement. So regardless of whether you're doing it yourself, just the fact that you can pull only the battery out makes so much more sense. As far as other components on M1 Macs that I expect to be self-service repairable, the display. That's the biggest one for me. The display and batteries are things that are going to have to get replaced pretty frequently because batteries wear out and displays get cracked. That's probably the biggest accidental damage that you will find on Macs. And if you go on eBay and you look at Macs that are being sold for parts, you will find that a good 80% of them are being sold for parts because they have a cracked display, and Retina displays are insanely expensive because Apple doesn't give normal people like you or I access to their parts at a somewhat reasonable price. So as a result of that, if you own a MacBook for about 4 or 5 years, sometimes even 2 or 3 years, once that display cracks, it is cost prohibitive to go on eBay and buy one third party because the displays are just so expensive. So with Apple actually allowing these parts to circulate, it means that these devices aren't going to be as insanely expensive to repair, even third party. So this is undeniably a really big step. But the thing that we don't know is what Apple's pricing is going to be. Now, we can get a bit of an inkling by looking further down in their press release. They say, following the repair, customers who return their used part for recycling will receive credit toward their purchase. Now, this is something that Apple does with authorized resellers, and it's a really weird thing. The way that they do it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because according to several articles that I've read, if you're an Apple authorized reseller, then you pay them like $1,000 for a given part, you do the repair, you send them the old part that was broken that you replaced, and they'll send you back $800. So it costs $200, but you're basically putting an $800 security deposit on it. And so it seems like that could be the way that this works. Now, as far as what this is actually going to cost for consumers, everyone's basically just guessing at this point. Basically, is it going to cost more or less than taking it to an authorized service provider to do it yourself? And do you have to buy Apple's tools to complete that, or can you do it yourself with, say, your iFixit Protect toolkit? So my personal guess is that it's going to be 1, cheaper than going to an Apple store or an authorized service provider, and 2, that you won't necessarily have to buy the tools when you want to do a repair. Now, I'm curious to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below, but my logic is that if you're gonna be doing it yourself, then you're no longer paying the labor charge that Apple includes when you do a repair through them, so at the very least, that should be less expensive. And then I would imagine, I would hope at least, that the parts costs are slightly less than from the Apple Store, given that you're going to be getting a rebate by sending in your old part. So hopefully it should be a little less expensive than the, I believe, $795 that Apple charges for most standard repairs, be it logic board, display, or top case. It might honestly cost $795 to buy the part, but then hopefully you get like $300 back or something. I think that would be decently reasonable if you have to do something like a logic board replacement. But that was another thing that I was really interested in. So let's say hypothetically, you've got one of the new 14-inch MacBook Pros. So mine's got the M1 Pro, standard configuration, 10 plus 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte, okay? So let's say, whoopsie, I've spilled a whole bottle of ketchup in the vent. Oh, what was I thinking? Oh, and then I opened the laptop and I was playing World of Warcraft, and now I've totally fried it. It's toast. Will this Apple self-service online repair store only allow you to buy specific parts for the exact machine that you have? Or is it more of a repository where you can change things around? Like, for example, what if I decided, okay, well, I toasted the board on this thing, I'm going to just buy the upgraded logic board with 32 gigabytes of RAM and replace it with that instead. It's a really interesting thought, isn't it? Because if Apple did let you choose the parts that you wanted to buy, then in a way, that could kind of be the return, maybe, of upgradability, maybe. Now, obviously, this is not going to be like a life hack. It's going to be really expensive to do it. It's not like you're going to be going out there buying a base model, putting juice in the vent, and then buying the upgraded one and saving a bunch of money. No, that's clearly not how this would ever go. But like, hypothetically, if you keep a machine for 2 or 3 years and then you want to upgrade it and you just buy a higher tier logic board, Apple, I mean, it's possible. They could do it. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Do you think Apple would allow us to do that? Or do you think, as I kind of do, that they're going to make you put in your serial number and only give you access to parts that are exactly the same as what's currently in your MacBook? Now, this is all stuff that I think I'm going to have to test. Honestly, I think I'm going to have to either buy a broken MacBook or just see if I can repair a non-broken MacBook. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm really interested in seeing this. I mean, if I had a primary device that's only a year out of warranty, I would want to buy a brand new part directly from the manufacturer. No risks, no chances. Absolutely, I would do that every single day. And Apple is offering us the chance to do this and making money at the same time. Like, it's ridiculous. They might as well just keep it going. Upgradable, modular components that you can upgrade after the fact at ludicrously high prices, sure, but at least it's freaking possible. Man, the possibilities are endless. I'm so glad that Right to Repair is catching on. This is honestly one of the most exciting times to be into technology. You know, we're halfway through this Apple Silicon transition. Apple, of all companies, after the last 10 years that they've been doing stuff, is starting to embrace forcefully Right to Repair. Like, this is such a good time to be a tech fan. I can't believe it. Let me know what you guys think about this stuff. I'm gonna eat some more marshmallows. I'll see you guys in the next video.